Good morning everyone. So I'm gonna go through some of the stuff that I usually do in the morning to just get myself ready for the day and already like wake up my body before I actually even eat anything. So let's go. So I actually don't necessarily want to eat anything right from the morning because I feel like my body should already be kind of running before I'm putting anything in there, meaning that, you know, my blood is flowing, my synovial fluids are going, and, you know, lymph is pumping. Like everything should be already running there. This is how I feel the best, and I feel like now my body is even ready to absorb these nutrients. You know, the digestion is also working. You know, preferably we also already gone to the toilet. This is what I want to do, and I always start with breathing. It may be breathing separately or breathing and Qigong, and then some movement training, or for example the morning routine training exercise. This is what I do. This is kind of like more light training in the morning just to get everything flowing, and that's probably what I'm gonna do today outside. So that's where we're gonna be heading. Another thing that is actually possible here in the UAE is to get sun pretty much every single day. There's very rarely, like now, there's still a bit of like the winter time, so there's some cloudy days, but most of the days, like you can get sun every single day, which is, you know, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, you kind of get maybe used to it a little bit, but that's also just a couple of minutes, soak it up, and then we're gonna go do some training and breathing. So I got a little bit excited, a little bit carried away. I just did a bunch of everything, you know. I did the Qigong, I did the breathing, I started to do the joint lubrication, mobilization. I did a lot of spine movements, shoulder movements, hip flexibility, shadow boxing even. So I should now be ready for the sparring session today with Samuli that we're gonna be doing later, maybe in about a few hours. I really feel good. Had some stiffness from yesterday's training movement, but that's all melted away right now. Feeling amazing, so should be ready for the session, and I'll catch you guys there. So let's take a look at all the stuff that I'm gonna need for the sparring. So of course I'm gonna have a big gloves, like so. These are good, they protect your arms, they also protect your opponent, your sparring partner. Then if you're gonna be doing like legs and arms, you of course need the shin guards, like shin pads here. This I'm gonna be stuffing here to the end of the back. This is a very good actually training back. It has all these straps around it. Then I have also, just in case, the smaller gloves. If you're gonna be doing more like, you get a bit of variety, you get to be a little bit more exact with your punches. Good for MMA, or also it's a totally different way to actually protect with the small gloves, and even to hit the opponent, you need to be more accurate. And then we need the ball protection to keep your testicles safe. And of course we have the mouth guard. And then I have this kind of actually socks for this time because I have a blister in my toe, so they're gonna be protecting a bit of the skin from infections. And then of course a towel as well. I'm all set, let's go spar. Back here. So there's a really nice road here, the Lakeside Road. Like you can get very quickly to almost any area in Dubai through that road. Even in this gym, like I think 15 kilometers, about 15 kilometers away or so. I think it's quite a long, but you can just really go through it in 15 minutes. So I tend to go to actual like sparring classes here. You get multiple different opponents, and that's always a great experience because you never get used to the guy who you're sparring against with. But I also regularly spar with Samuli. You know, it's very different because you kind of get to know the other person, but it's still tricky. It's never, you know, because you know his moves, he knows your moves. I don't know if you can hear anything. It's a bit noisy here on the road, but we'll see if the audio is good. I'm gonna put it up. They start the Ramadan, so all the Muslims are fasting. So this also means that it's just people are not so active during the day. Not so much traffic, not so much people even at the gyms. Feels like a more relaxing period of time actually, and I really enjoy that. I always like when the Ramadan comes here to in the UAE or in Dubai. I see that Samuli has also already arrived. I'm gonna park right next to his car. Here we are. Time to get out. Samuli's ride and my ride. Let's go. So we're gonna do a bit of warming up to get started, to get the body warm, ready for the sparring. And then I think we're gonna be doing like maybe 3-minute rounds. Start with just boxing, and then take the legs on the later rounds as well. Get the neck warmed up. That's the most important thing.
So here's my second grandfather. He's 50 years old, but he looks like he's 70.
Oh, handsome dude.
Yeah, because he went through two wars, and he worked in a farm his whole life.
Where? Palm?
Farm.
Farm. Farm.
Yeah. So 2 wars in farm. So very tough life.
Yeah, so we just completed 2 rounds of boxing. So first left arm, then 2 arms. Just trying to get a feel of it, touch of the other guy. Like it's always like this, the first round, just to how is actually your energy levels, how is your mentality and everything. learns of sparring with the legs as well. Definitely with the legs department there's more to improve still. Just do stringings and combinations that will be really fluent to really be able to, for example, block and come out immediately, like follow with a kick of your own. The aftermath. Getting out.
Yeah.
What are your comments for today's sparring?
It's like, because how you look, it always depends on the opponent, you know. If it's like a bad opponent, anyone can look like amazing, you know. But with you know, against Eero, it's like hard to find openings, and you have to worry because there's lots of power in like the punching and kicks. So it's very different, you know. If you spar like with a very good opponent, even if you spar light, you know, because the defense is good and it's hard to find any openings.
Yeah, with you also is tricky because you throw a lot of the side kicks and you're good at the like counters, throwing hooks, so it's like always have to be still like awake and careful with the approaches.
Yeah, so that's why even in like UFC, if you see some like Conor McGregor, in the beginning of his career he looks amazing because, or not maybe Conor McGregor but many other fighters, in the beginning they look amazing because the opponent is not so good. So they can do whatever, you know, and they look very powerful, but when the opponent is like equal level, then it suddenly like nothing happens, or like this. So it's always, you know, sparring, it always depends on the opponent and fighting also.
I think we maybe done like 8 rounds, or 7 or 8, even 9 maybe, I lost count, but we're gonna finish up with just body shots. I felt that towards the end, you know, got a bit more relaxation, felt much better, and was just able to be more comfortable there. Because the first rounds you're always like covering a bit too much, and there was tons of movement, so just being able to stand still and trade and trust the other guys, like powers and everything. So still could be better, but this is the process. Just go there. Sparring is something you just need to go and do. You cannot, you know, you can't be fancy in the beginning. Just gotta make it, get the repetitions in, and work it.
And it's also because me and Eero, we spar a lot together. So that's why I kind of know what he's doing, and he knows what I'm doing. So it's hard to, you know, so as a result nothing happens. But if I spar like some other guys, even if they're very good, because they don't know what I'm going to do, they don't know any of my techniques. So it's very easy to get the jab and the cross and the side kicks and everything in, because they don't know my cues and my, like how I like feint and stuff.
Yeah, this is what I even talk about in the car, like I mentioned about this, that, you know, we know our game already, but of course it's still challenging, but it's different against people who you are not familiar with. Okay, sparring finished. I felt like we got a really good rounds, at least in total. Just great impacts, a lot of hardening, and the technique just improves, keeps improving. So totally wasted. Body shot rounds at the end are always the best. You can just put every last bit of energy you have left into those. in the end that we actually did like 14 rounds in total sparring, which I'm actually surprised that we even did that much. I think the rounds went so quick, and they were like, each round was 3 minutes, filmed each round, so just very surprised. I think I'm very happy about that because I feel like the conditioning has improved a lot. I feel like Samuli's conditioning has also improved a lot. We can just keep on doing the rounds and even stay active towards the end of it, because I remember going like even like 10 rounds, 8 rounds sometimes the classes, it's feeling like completely destroyed, like, but this time still gas in the tank, so that's a very good sign. Now I'm gonna head back. I will have a coaching session with a client, my personal client. I'm gonna actually help this guy to prepare for a boxing match that he has, like this white collar boxing match. So that's very interesting. We got an updated program, and then probably also gonna eat something. Let's see. All right, time to go to rest and do some work. So after sparring, you always feel much more relaxed because you spend all that energy, all that adrenaline, everything. You leave it in the gym. That's something that I really like about like intense sparring classes. It's sometimes very exhausting, like a lot of pressure. You feel out of breath. You know, you get hurt. Sometimes you get hit and all of that. But it's the feeling afterwards is just, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, we were just running about 22 minutes. The way we do running is we actually don't just do like forward running. We have like 4 different directions that we run. One is forward, we have also backwards, and then we have the left side forward and right side forward. So it's like moving sideways, popping like this way. And actually there's, you know, one addition to this method. So we're utilizing these weights. I have this kind of egg weights that hold here, but you can use any basic small dumbbell, light dumbbells. These are like 1.5 pounds each, so in both hands. Yeah, here you have like this kind of small dumbbells you can get from pretty much anywhere, and makes it much more effective. You challenges the breathing much more, and every single direction that you're running in different ways, you get to train your ankles, your calves in a different manner. Different parts of quadriceps are emphasized, different parts of the glutes are emphasized. So it's like takes running to a whole new level, and in a way that actually transfers very well to, for example, martial arts, MMA that we're doing, because lateral movement is like you directly use it in there. This kind of movement patterns, you have some sideways movements, and you just get the tons of like springiness into your ankles. There's an important part of this that I've been already doing barefoot running for about 10 years or so. So it's very important they actually don't use those too much cushioning in your feet. That will ruin the running. You need to start using your own muscles. So barefoot shoes are a must for me. Like even Samuli has, I have. So that's the workout for tonight. So you can actually take your running to the next level. You don't just have to always do the same like this way. It makes it actually much more fun and more enjoyable, and you feel like the time just runs like 20 minutes. I was like surprised. I thought we had been running like much more, so it went really quickly. So that's it. Weights, running, different directions. Little getaway at the desert. You know, it's so silent here that you can hear like the little grass is whistling in the wind. But this is the nature here, and it's pretty darn amazing.
we recently discovered a local Muay Thai gym with an open sparring class, and there we had an opportunity to spar with highly experienced fighters. The man in the video is Don Dole, who is one of the coaches of the gym, and he's a professional fighter with over 350 Muay Thai fights and over 50 boxing bouts. So needless to say, we were in for a lesson. So at this point I still had some energy left, so I was able to at least throw some punches and try to answer this guy's pressure, but it still doesn't look very good. Like the experience was crazy. And what is even scarier with these guys is that they can be so relaxed while they can completely pretty much dominate you and, you know, read your every move and everything. And from, you know, when I look at this like this way in the hindsight, I'm thinking like, why was I just covering up and everything? But it was really in the moment, it was very hard to answer to this guy, and soon you will start to see also the exhaustion setting in, because there's already multiple quite hard rounds before we start to film this. So here still looking relatively fresh, but getting like going into all the tricks that this guy is setting up. But truly I think it's one of the best experiences to be able to fight with or spar with professional fighters, not fight, but spar with them. Like you just learn so much things, and it's very humbling, but I love the feeling. And with these kind of guys, they don't hit you hard. Like I said, they can be gentle and still show that they are dominant. Like here the guy was just letting me essentially throw the punches, like there you go, you know, and then in the end, you know, he's gonna show a little bit like what it's made of. And yeah, I was toasted at this point. So, but amazing experience, and honestly I can't wait to get back there, because it's just all this stuff, punches, everything. I enjoy it. Like I want to be there.
Painava. Jep.
So me and Samuli, we came to have a lunch in this kind of place that you actually wouldn't maybe think that you would find even in Dubai. It's essentially like you were eating in someone's garden. You can be here like barefoot. And this is actually a vegan restaurant, and so far we have been both about 40 days without eating any meat. So some dairy products and fish here and there, but no beef, chicken, no lamb or something like this way. And so this place suits us well. I'm having these pancakes, and Samuli had what is this, pumpkin soup?
Yes, pumpkin soup.
pumpkin soup. So it's been an interesting experience. It feels like great recovery for the mind and even for the body. And I haven't noticed like my muscles would recover less or something like this, but it's mainly like you feel calmer when you're not getting like meat all the time. So recovery sometimes it's more than just getting sleep and not training and resting, but it's actually what you put inside your body. And sometimes getting less something is more beneficial than getting more, like in terms of nutrients that you get from meat, for example. So it's been a great experience. Banana oat pancakes.
Yeah, we just had our meal, and before this meal I was actually fasting, like no water and no food for quite some time. And actually most people don't really understand what is real recovery, because in the past when I started training and working out, I was thinking recovery is that when you don't train and then you eat some food and then you recover, but that's actually only like a very small part of recovery, or like a very low level of recovery. What is actually the best form of recovery is actually that you eat first, for example, to have some building blocks for your muscles and the nervous system and body in general. But after that you don't eat anything, like you fast, and that is the best way to actually recover, because you are not like working the body at all in regards to the metabolism and everything else. So your body and muscles and everything recovers like way faster. Like nowadays, if I eat all the time, I'm not even recovering properly. So if I want to recover, I need to take time off from eating and even drinking sometimes completely for some, maybe like 1 day or half a day minimum, sometimes even longer fast. But that's true recovery. It's like you provide the building blocks and then you fast.